Hello everybody and welcome back to GSL English. My name is Gideon and in today's lesson we are going to be practicing our British English. So as always, it's my pleasure to give you all a very warm welcome back to our class today. Now, if you are new to these series of videos, let me just explain how it's going to work. Firstly, you are going to listen to me speak. Now, you need to listen really carefully because afterwards I'm going to ask you some questions to see how much you understood. Then we are going to break down the vocabulary and expressions used so that we can really understand them and use them in our everyday life. And thirdly, we will have the opportunity to practice our pronunciation where you will repeat after me. And we will be doing all three of these exercises 3 times with different vocabulary and different expressions. So we've got a lot to go through in this class today, so let's get straight into it. Here is listening test number 1. Now, listen really carefully. I'm only going to say this once. I don't suppose you've got £5 I can borrow, do you? I need to top my car up with washer fluid, but I've left my wallet at home. I was rushing around like crazy this morning and I completely forgot it. Okay, there you go. I hope you listened carefully. Let's test how much you understood. So we started off with a question. I don't suppose you've got... What did I ask for? The answer was £5 and I asked to borrow it. As we go through this, if there's any vocabulary you don't know, don't worry because we'll be explaining that in a moment. Then I said, I need to do something. What do I need to do? I need to top up my car with... What do I need to top it up with? Washer fluid. Washer fluid. And the reason that I need to borrow £5 is because I've left my... What did I leave at home? My wallet. I've left my wallet at home. And the reason that I left my wallet at home was because I was around. That's right. I was rushing around like crazy. But when did all of this happen? Happened in the morning. And of course, I completely forgot it. So listening exercise number 1. How many did you get right? Let me know in the comments. But now let's break down all of the vocabulary that we used. So we started this text off by saying, I don't suppose. I don't suppose. This is a really polite way of introducing a question, particularly asking someone if they have something or they did something. So in this case, we were politely asking if we could borrow some money. That question would have been very different if we just said, can I borrow £5? But we made it more polite by saying, I don't suppose you have. It's a really polite way of introducing a question that we need to ask. But then what we asked for was £5. Quid. And this is a very British slang term talking about money. And £1 refers to £1. And we use quid to talk about amounts really up to £100. You could go over, but generally in my experience it's £100 and under. So you could ask for £5, £25, £50, £70, £100. But then after that, it's not used as much in my experience. So quid, slang term for pound. And then I asked if I could borrow it. Not if I could have it. I asked if I could borrow it. To borrow means to take and use something with the idea and the intention of giving it back. So I asked to borrow £5, but because I said borrow, that implies that I have the intention to give it back. But the interesting thing, what did I need £5 for? Well, I needed it for this phrasal verb, to top up. In this case, to top up my car. And this is a phrasal verb that means to raise the level of a liquid, to raise the level of something that is in my car, either because it's running low or it's empty. Now, What I needed to raise the level of was my washer fluid. Washer fluid can be referred to as windshield wiper fluid, screen wash, wiper fluid. If you hear any of these terms, they all mean the same thing, which is basically that liquid, that fluid that we put into our car to wash the windscreen. So we pull forward on the lever and often spray of a liquid will come up on the windscreen. Our window wipers go. That liquid is called washer fluid, or maybe screen wash, whatever. But that is what we needed to top the car up with, washer fluid. And I said that I was rushing around. And if we are rushing to do something, it means that we are doing something very quickly or at a fast pace. And often we end up rushing around because we are late, we are busy, maybe the alarm didn't go off, in this case, in the morning. Rushing around. It's that horrible feeling. I hate rushing around. And because of that, when we are rushing, when we are having to do things at a fast pace, we often forget things. And in this case, I forgot my wallet. Okay, so now we've looked at that vocabulary, some new expressions that I want you to try and use so that you will remember them and end up using them in your daily life. Now, let's practice our pronunciation together. So listen carefully. I want you to repeat after me. I don't suppose you've got £5 I can borrow, do you? I need to top my car up with washer fluid, but I've left my wallet at home. I was rushing around like crazy this morning and I completely forgot it. Very well done. Let's now move on to section 2. Once again, listen very carefully and afterwards, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm desperate for a holiday. I don't care where I go as long as it's boiling hot and I don't have to do anything. Work has been absolutely manic this year. I just need a week or two to switch off and do nothing. Okay, very good. I'm not going to repeat it again, so let's test your listening skills. So how am I feeling? I'm desperate for a what? For a holiday. I'm desperate for a holiday, which is true, actually. I am very much desperate for a holiday. I don't care. What didn't I care about? I don't care where I go. It could be anywhere, but I had a requirement. As long as it's boiling hot. We're going to look at that expression in a moment. I spoke about work. Work has been this year. Work has been manic this year. And how long do I need? I need a week or two just to switch off and do nothing. Again, how many did you get right? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's break down the vocabulary and expressions that we used. So I started off this section by saying that I was desperate for a holiday. And if we feel desperate for something, it means that we greatly need it. We feel that intense, that strong desire to do it or have it. And in this case, I was desperate for a holiday. This term holiday in British English isn't quite the same as in American English. In British English, when we talk about a holiday, we are referring to a period of time where we don't have to work, where we can relax. And maybe that might be going to another country, in this case, to a hot country. Maybe it's just some time at home where we don't work, we don't go to school. So that is what we mean when we are talking about a holiday, a period of time where we don't have to work. And then I said, I don't care where I go as long as it is boiling hot. Boiling hot. We use this expression all the time and it just means extremely hot. We might say, oh, I'm boiling. I'm really hot. Or in this case, I want to go to a country that is boiling hot, extremely hot. And the reason that I wanted to do this was because work has been manic. When we describe work as being manic, we mean that it has just been extremely busy. You know, when work is just so busy, you can't catch a moment to even breathe. You've got phone calls here and there, emails coming in. It's absolutely manic. You can't keep up. So in this instance, that is why I needed a holiday. Work's been manic. And then we had this great phrasal verb. What I wanted to do on holiday was simply to switch off. Now, if we think of maybe switching a computer off, it's no longer being used. So it's the same kind of principle when we talk about ourselves switching off. Basically saying that we don't have to mentally think or worry about anything like we do with normal life. You know, we're always thinking about stuff, worrying about stuff. But if we switch off on holiday, we're just relaxing. We're not thinking about life. We're not worrying about life. So that is what it means to switch off in this instance. Very well done. So again, we've got some new vocabulary, new expressions that we can use there. Now, let's practice our pronunciation together. So listen carefully. I want you to repeat after me. I'm desperate for a holiday. I don't care where I go as long as it's boiling hot and I don't have to do anything. Work has been absolutely manic this year. I just need a week or two to switch off and do nothing. Let's now do our third and final listening test. Next year, my goal is to get fitter. I love going to the gym and lifting weights, but my fitness is shocking. I can't even run up the stairs without being out of breath. Okay, very good. Let's test how much you understood. The first part, next year, my goal or what I want to achieve is to get, I used a particular word, fitter. Well done, fitter. I love going to where? Well done. I love going to the gym and doing what? Lifting weights. But my fitness is what? How did I describe my fitness? It is shocking. Now, because my fitness is so bad, I can't even run up the stairs without being what? 3 words, without being out of breath. Okay, for the third and final time, let me know how many did you get right? But let's break down and look at that vocabulary and expressions that we used. The first thing that I said is that I want to be fitter. My goal this year is to be fitter. When we talk about being fitter or being fit, we're in good physical shape. But when we particularly talk about getting fit or being fitter, we are referring to cardiovascular exercise. If our goal is getting fitter, we really just want to be healthier and be able to perform exercise for a longer period of time. I said in this example that I like going to the gym and I like lifting weights. Basically means to pick up and raise weights above your head, pull them down, whatever you want to do. But lifting weights is moving heavy weights in a certain way. I use this expression to run up the stairs, which basically means we get to this top of the stairs as fast as we can, at a quick pace. But then I said, I can't do this without being out of breath. When we are out of breath, we are finding it difficult to breathe, or our breathing is really slow and heavy because we don't have the cardiovascular power. We're not very fit. Very good. So we looked at some more vocabulary and expressions there. But now, once again, and for the final time today, let's practice our pronunciation together. Next year, my goal is to get fitter. I love going to the gym and lifting weights, but my fitness is shocking. I can't even run up the stairs without being out of breath. Very well done. I hope you enjoyed that class today. Keep going through this video, write down the new vocabulary. Please try and use it over the next week, because the more we use it, the more we will remember it, and then it just becomes part of our vocabulary. And with the pronunciation, try and do this again and again throughout the week. The more we repeat it, the more we speak out loud, the more our pronunciation will improve. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, say hi in the comments, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a good one, guys.